Hello again, everyone. It's Tom Lamog. I'm a volunteer instructor with Guitars for Vet Cyber Chapter and with Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts community, and hosting our final session focusing on lyric writing. Thanks again for joining me on this Saturday morning, afternoon on a Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there, and to anyone who has, someone celebrating as well too. Moms, it's all about you. But today we're going to bring part one to a close, and I'm hoping that you're feeling confident with committing your story ideas to paper and making use of some of the tools and techniques that we've covered, and maybe even have already started writing song lyrics. For the next hour and a half, you'll be hearing from three guest songwriting musicians. They'll join me in reviewing highlights of the 10 chapters from Andrea Stolpe's Becoming a Songwriter course guide and the video as well too. And they're also going to add their own professional experiences, personal knowledge on the topic. Together, we're hoping to help you, the aspiring songwriter, get closer to your goals in writing your first or maybe your next song. Before we move any farther, though, as we always do, I would like to bring back my co-host, and that would be Ken Busby. And hey, where are you at today, Ken?
Man, I'm coming to y'all live from the BB King Museum in Indianola, Mississippi.
Man, oh man, what brings you down there?
How amazing is this, huh?
Being a tourist?
Being the biggest tourist and the biggest fan that anybody could be at a place like this, surrounded by so much history.
Yeah. Let me kind of bring you back into the world of
Yes.
lyric writing. Here we are, session four.
God,
What's
it's
been the
it's it's
standout?
gone so fast.
What's been the
Oh,
standout for you for this entire series that has impressed you with the
like
ideas?
every week, the same thing impresses me, how much everybody's learning, how much they're turning in the work. The songs people are coming up with on the fly, the lyrics that they're putting out, it just floors me. um, I'm just in awe of the talent that's in this room. I mean, it's amazing. It amazes me every time, every
Yeah.
week I get amazed
And
more and
look
more.
at you, and look at you. You've written songs and even have started to go out and perform them. Talk about living the
Yes.
dream.
uh, it's still scary, but
Well, as it should be. It's kind of like you are putting yourself out there, right? It's kind of
right.
like you take what's personal to you, commit it to paper, put it through
Hmm.
that process, and maybe you're still learning that process. Maybe you're still
Yeah.
like, I know that I can do this better. That I've got a lot to learn because I know that I feel the same way, even after writing for 20
I
years.
mean, I haven't even hit my graduation date, so um, I'm still, this time last year, I'm still in classes with Dan
Yeah.
on the guitar, learning how to play the guitar. And now I'm out doing open mics and singing original songs that I wrote. So for anybody out there who needs a little inspiration, I didn't know how to play the guitar before I joined Guitars for Vets. Had no clue. Um, and now I'm out there doing open mics. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the best, but
But you're
I'm out
out
there
there.
doing it,
You're
and I'm
doing it.
enjoying it, and it's
Yeah.
fun. So
Yeah. And I know you posted a video on the G4V Learning Center site that everyone
yeah,
ought to check out. Just, if you're thinking, I'll never be able to write a song, I'll never be able to learn it on guitar and perform. Well, here you go. You got Ken,
yeah.
who is a G4V grad. He's also helping me with the learning series here at boot camp. And now he's out there doing this. So this can be you. And if it's not something you want to do, at least you're getting your songs, written. And that's what we were hoping to impress
And
upon.
that's the biggest part. Like I've got some songs that I'm not going to perform for anybody that are therapeutic songs, that I wrote just for me and
Yeah,
things that I'm going through. And it's helped immensely, you
real
know.
good.
So
Okay, listen, I'm going to bring in our guest. I'm definitely
yes,
going to
I
come
can't
back.
wait to meet them.
All right, man. Thank you for joining us and have a good time playing those ES 355s. I keep saying 335s. They're 355s, or hopefully you'll be able to. I'm
If
sure
they'll
you
let
will.
me get my hands on one, I'm going to, and I'm gonna record it and I'll share it.
All right, my friend. It's time to bring in the guests. All right, our guests today. Let's see. Our first guest, um, you know, Matthew Jones. He came to us on the first session with Casey Cameron, and here's what. what you ought to know about Matt. We were like brainstorming ideas for song titles, and I think he took one of mine that I said, "Oh, all right, go ahead and take it." He's like hungry, hungry, hungry
It's your fault. It's
to
your
write
fault.
songs.
You
I know.
lit
That's
the
okay.
fire.
I don't mind. I don't. I'm totally fine. You turned it into a hit song. You get to do the work.
We'll have you do a recording too, and it'll be like featuring Tom, grooving Tom.
Why? I appreciate that. How you been, Matt?
Oh, I mean, happier than a pig and poop, I guess you could say, living the dream. You know, uh,
You were playing hero stock stuff. I mean, you're back out there. You're continuing to, do some really cool things, performing live your music out there for the nonprofit Hero Stock, who supports veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. How's that? How's that going?
it's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
now I'm not gonna lie, okay, and Bree can probably attest to this when she gets on here. I get nervous every single time. Like my hands are
Surprise, surprise.
sweating. I feel like an Eminem song coming on. Knees weak, arms are heavy. You know, uh, but then when you get through that
Oh,
first song, then it's like, oh, you feel like you can breathe. You really kind of get that nervousness out. Um,
yeah,
it's an
yeah.
amazing ride. Is what it is. So
Did you ever think that songwriting would take you down this path? Did you ever think that, you know what, me, Matthew Jones, and writing songs was going to take you to these opportunities? Did that ever cross your mind?
up until, and I mean, I know there's a little bit of backstory here about Denver, but in Denver, I got to meet Michael Peterson, right? Country music star. Um, and I was just blown away when he walked into the cafeteria one day and he pointed at me after hearing my song and he's like, "You, that was awesome." And I was like, "Did this just happen? Did he just talk to me?" I was just like, "Holy cow!" Um, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. I mean, to that moment, I would have said, "Who am I? I'm a nobody," you know, and I said that to Michael Peterson, and he goes, "Look, Matt," he goes, "everybody's a nobody until someone tells you you're a somebody." So, when you have people out here like Bree and you and me and Ken and everyone who's in attendance today, just out there championing those ideas that that people have, you're creating something new, something original, and it's really really beautiful, and it's just a amazing thing to be a part of. So, I'm grateful.
And there are so many stories that you've written and yet to write. That's the thing about, songwriting is that there's always an idea to share a story that might be relatable to others. And didn't you tell me at one time you wrote over 200 songs, or maybe was that someone else?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you,
That
or
wasn't
that
me.
was you? That
No,
was you.
I think I have like 25 originals.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
trying to make a better effort to come down and actually write. You know,
Well, all right.
chunk out some time for it. So, because it's
And you're
important.
on, and you're totally on your way. Totally on your way.
I'm on my
That
way somewhere.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, it's great to see you. It's great to see you here. We are going to come back to you for sure. But I would like to bring on our other guest who is an aspiring songwriter herself, and she's new to our program, but you probably know her dad because he's been interviewed here on Guitars for Vets Song Sung True. It's Briella Steiner. Briella, how are you? Welcome to the program. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm feeling very blessed to be here with all of you today.
Oh, what a journey that you've taken. I mean, when I first heard that you were first wanting to learn to play guitar, and then taking vocal lessons, and now this, you're
Mhm.
performing, you're actively performing out there.
Yeah.
You're also writing songs, not only as a solo artist, but there have been some pretty impressive names of people that you have collaborated with, and I can think of I can think of three people. One of them's here, I think, that you've collaborated with, but a couple more that have come on the Songs and True program, I think. Maybe you could share with us who are some of the songwriters that you've worked with.
Yeah, so I worked with Joe Garcia and Rachel Harvey Hill. I'm working with Shannon Book and Scotty Hasting and I are gonna try to get together sometime this summer, see what we can come up with. So Yep, just kind of, and Matthew is my duet partner for some of our gigs.
Yes,
He's pretty
yes.
awesome. And yes, we do both get very nervous, but it's okay. Once we get that first song through, we're vibing after that. So
Yeah. And this is this journey that you began musically. It's been a couple, maybe 2, 3 years, or has it lasted longer than that?
so I've always loved to sing ever since I was a little girl. I would literally just make up songs on the spot. My mom always said, "Oh, she grew up thinking she was in a music video." And so I didn't really start pursuing music until about 2, 3 years ago. And so my mom had got me in vocal lessons my freshman year of high school and just kind of really started pursuing music that way. And my dad is amazing. He's made some amazing connections and I've met amazing people along the way. And so they've definitely helped me become more confident in what I've been writing and performing and putting out there for everybody. So
Oh,
it's been a
well,
fun
that's
journey.
wonderful. And the songwriting journey that you've taken so far. How have you written a number of songs? First of all, solo
Mhm.
and then collaborative. Have you built, I mean, it sounds like you're really busy with songwriting.
Yeah, I am. I tend to I tend to write best when it's like 3 a.m. and I can't fall asleep. So I have my notes app. If you look at it, there are just hundreds and hundreds of pages of either like half finished songs or fully finished songs. So it's definitely one of those things where once I sit down, I cannot like stop my brain until I like physically will fall asleep.
Uh,
So just
Sometimes it
want
works
to
out.
crank a song out.
Yeah. And I know that this group of aspiring songwriters, we did talk about the importance of writing things down. You can go to bed 10 o'clock at night. It's like, okay, I'll write that down first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, it's like, what was I thinking about?
Yeah.
I know that happens to me all the time. So understandable, 3 a.m. Man,
Yep.
that's what it takes. All right, Bree. Well, listen, you will be back here momentarily. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming on the show with us. Let me go back and kind of go through some of the things that you need to know about this particular session. As you know, we're recording today's live event. And again, if you don't want to appear in the recording, please turn your camera setting to the off position in Zoom, or you can just close shutter. We'll be using the chat feature to collect your comments and questions. If you can keep your microphone closed until really you have something that you want to share with us, that'd be great. I'll do my best to keep an eye on the Q&A for any questions. So will my guests as well too. Now, the objective of today's boot camp, we're going to make sure that we give all of you the opportunity to share anything that you've written in the way of stories, the exercises, any song lyrics. We're going to give you the option to either just read it, or if you would like to get feedback, constructive feedback, you just let us know as well too. But that's what I'm hoping that in today's discussion we'll be able to do. We're also going to be highlighting, chapters 1 through 10, everything that we've covered, some of the highlights. Hopefully, with the help of our songwriting guests, they can kind of talk to some of the questions that you might have from personal experiences as well too. So those are the things that we hope to wrap up in today's session. I encourage you all to participate uh, to get the most out of today's workshop. All right. So, question number one for the panel: where do ideas for song lyrics come from? All right, I'll start. So I could be taking a walk and I see something that catches my eye that typically triggers a memory, right? So I'm walking in this grove of maple trees with the sun beaming through, and it reminds me of fishing trips that I took with my dad. That's like, I'm gonna write a song about that. That's an example. Where do song lyrics come for you? Bree, I'll start with you.
So most of the time I'll be like reading a poem or something and I'll see a line and I'll be like, "Oh, I like that." And it's kind of like a memory and so I'll sit down and I'll write about that or if something happens and I'm frustrated or sad or happy, whatever emotion I may be feeling, I take that and I translate that into a song and I just kind of use whatever's thrown my way, and I kind of just use that and base it off of that experience and how I was feeling. And it's been really fun to do that because you get all sorts of different songs and all sorts of different feelings throughout different songs. So
And does it just kind of like something that you have to force yourself to think about, or is this something that just comes right out, drops out of the sky kind of a thing?
it just kind of comes out of the sky. Like there's a million different situations that could happen, and I am very blessed to be able to kind of just put all my thoughts on the paper that way. And so sometimes I'll write them and then I'll have to go back and like revise them, but for the most part it kind of just flows. So
Yeah. Matt, what about you?
I get all my lyrics from Bree.
How
No,
did
I'm
I
kidding.
how did I know that? You got some from me, I think. Well, you at least
Oh yeah, I mean, sometimes. It's kind of hit and miss. There's been times where I've been so fixated on, like Bree mentioned, like a one line or kind of just like a couple words, and it's just I'm so focused on that anything outside of that, I can't. It's almost like I'm just trying to pull stuff out of thin air. So when I feel like I hit that spot when nothing's coming, I'll actually a little exercise is I'll grab a sheet of paper and I'll draw a circle on it, right in the center, and I'll put that little phrase that I'm thinking of, and then I tried to connect different things with that topic, and I'll make little circles outside of that, and kind of build like what they would call a writer's web. So I'll do that if I'm struggling to write. But there are those times where it's just like unfiltered. It's just coming, and you're just like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. This is going to be a banger, and you got to grab a book and a pen, you know. But I mean, lyrics for me, I want people to feel something, so I tend to write kind of in sessions, give myself a break, so I'm not just flooding the paper with all these ideas, and then at the end, I'm confused at what I got, you know. So I'll get up and I'll take a break, you know, maybe a day, but come back and then read through it again and see what other kind of ideas I feel kind of really blend into the melody I have in mind. Yeah, I mean, so some days it's a lightning strike, everything's hitting all at once. Other days it's like I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna go to the to our participants and ask them the question. If it's just like hit the raise the hand feature, how many of you are finding that after taking the lessons within the boot camp itself, that you're finding more ideas to write about? Are there, I mean, I would love to see a show of hands. Go ahead and hit the raise the hand button on the menu as well, too, after taking this workshop. Are you feeling like, you know what? I never thought about writing something like that, but now I can. So I'm seeing hands here. It's kind of like, yeah, cool. So hopefully it's not too difficult. Just how like Matt and Bree have spoken about this, it's not anything you have to really work at. It's like now that you've kind of trained yourself to use these tools, um, it starts that way. It just kind of falls out of the sky, or maybe you purposefully want to go ahead and write about something. It's there for you to just go ahead and grasp and start writing. So, Bree, let me go back to you with this next question. When an idea is worthy of becoming a song, how do you know?
well, that's a really good question. I think it's just kind of as soon as things really click and come together. I'm not gonna call myself a musician by any means, but there was one song that I wrote pretty recently, and it was a really kind of sad, like relatable song. And I actually learned how to play guitar to the melody that I had in my brain. And I was like, yep, that's it. Like that is it. But most of the other times it's just been I'll have a complete idea and I'll share it with a friend or a fellow artist, and I'll be like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And get their feedback. It's great to get feedback from other artists. It's super helpful too. So as somebody who's still pretty new to songwriting and all of that, I would definitely recommend you collab with people.
There's a community for that. I mean, just even the community of songwriters that you know, they have spoken out about, I definitely collaborate with others. So I mean, there's an opportunity to kind of expand your own experience in songwriting by doing that. Certainly you can do it on your own. There are times where you have to, but other times it's kind of like if you can collaborate, it becomes so invaluable. So,
Yes, for sure.
and Matt, what about you? When an idea is worthy of becoming a song, how do you know? Yes.
Uh, well, I mean, for me personally, I think every idea is worthy of becoming a song, um, and I choose to think that way because I don't ever want to limit how far I can reach with something. Um, I mean, I'll have kind of an idea, and I think, well, what are some ways I can kind of put together kind of a nice little picture, um, and then I think about those things, and then I try to write kind of in sessions. One of the songs that I most recently wrote come from just a conversation I was having with you, and I had shared with you that in Denver, someone told me that everyone loves a really pretty painting, but that doesn't happen if the painter doesn't approach the canvas. So making time to write, you're going to notice that you're getting better. You're starting to compile ideas a little more clearly. They can kind of fit into a melody. Um, but I mean, I just took what I said to you. I was just thinking of Bob Ross. I'm gonna paint a happy little tree right here and a nice little rock, but mine was more towards like a hilltop with an old beat up oak tree, and so that's how my painting, if you will, started. And then I
Right.
just thought about all those beautiful things like the changing in seasons. How can I say it, within just a few words to really make people just kind of feel the music versus just hearing it. So yeah, just like I said, trying to paint a pretty picture with your words and your voice and your melody. So
And I would imagine it's got to be meaningful to you personally. I mean, if you want to invest the effort in writing lyrics, you got to kind of test it for yourself before you go out and ask, someone else for their feedback. Would you agree with that?
yes, yes. Um, and a lot of times, I mean, most of the stuff that I was writing before I had decided to utilize music as a form of healing, like completely, a lot of the stuff I was writing, I never intended anybody to hear. It was just for me. It was a part of my process. My, get out those things that I'm thinking of or those negative, intrusive thoughts, and and then someone heard me. I was like, oh, yeah, play that whole song, and so I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird, and so I play it, and they're like, that's really good. You should do this, and it's like, are you messing with me? They're like, no, we really like it. So, um, yeah, I mean, one thing led to another thing, and it's what I can't say enough is that it is absolutely free to champion other people's ideas, you know, to encourage them. So anybody in attendance today, don't ever think that what you're writing isn't worthy of becoming a song. It's put the time in, the practice. I mean, you could be sitting on a gold mine, and it's your story, so enjoy telling it. You know,
That is important to note.
I'm gonna stop
It's
preaching
got to
now.
be. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be personally rewarding to yourself if you want to invest the time. And if you follow Andrew's procedure, which is basically I'm going to write everything down, right? If you're going to commit to that, you're all in. So do it. See through it. See through the end. And I know, John Hampton, I know that you had mentioned that you've been writing multiple ideas for songs. But he started with writing everything out, or he's got the idea of doing that. Um, so all right, now here's the deal. Sorry to embarrass you, John. Are you past six, John? Are you up to something more than six now? I think that was the last number that John talked about.
I started number 7 this morning at 3 a.m., by the way. uh,
At 3 a.m.
Briella.
So just so you know, 3 a.m. is in the Pacific time zone, Bree. So
Yeah.
you're already up at 5.
Yeah, 3
Oh,
a.m. Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. All right, well, good to see you, John. Thanks for joining us today. I know I'll be picking on you again later, because I'm certain you've got something that you want to share. Let's talk about taking the next step. All right. So the next step would be once you know that you're committed to writing a song, what's the process, or is it something that I don't follow a process? I just kind of do this first and then I figure out the next step after that. But what steps do you typically follow, if you will, to turn these ideas into lyrics for a song? So maybe you can speak to the last song that you were working on. So go ahead, Bree, can you answer that one?
Yeah, so I guess the last song that I was working on, solo, not collabing on, it's called Your Misses. And it's basically about you get to a certain age and you see anybody from your past getting married, settling down, starting a family. And it's kind of one of those weird, surreal feelings like, oh my gosh, like that could have been me settling down with this person. And so it's basically like I always knew that I would never be your missus, but I never thought I'd see somebody else like be your wife, and so it's with that one, I sat down and I like soaked in all the feelings of it and I let myself feel those feelings. And then I kind of just started writing, and I always follow the same process of I write the lyrics first and I have the melody in my head. And then I always like to try to put guitar to it that way. But as I'm writing, I always have a melody in my head. So I can have a song and it could be like, do or something. And that's the melody that I follow for it. And so that's usually the process I take, but I have taken the process of I'll hear a song, somebody else is playing it on guitar, and I'll be like, oh, I like that. Here, let's try adding this and this and this and put lyrics into that song. And so it's been fun doing it both ways, but I definitely prefer the lyrics first.
Cool. Well, and I know that we as a group talked about what process do you follow? And there seems to be, at least amongst the other songwriters who have been on the program, it's been varied. It's like, well, sometimes I start with lyrics, other times I start with a rhythm or, something that makes me groove. Um, Matt, what about you? What do you typically do to turn your ideas into lyrics for a song once you know that you were going to do it?
Well, I think I would have to agree with Bree that I do have a constant melody just banging around up there. It's kind of like the backing track for all the lyrics I want to use. Um, but for like a process, I don't really have a process. Um, I have done it where I've sat down and I've gone and written verse after verse and chorus and bridge, and then I pick up my guitar and I start to kind of hum a little bit, like the tone I want it at, and I'll find the chords and build the structure of the song that way. Other times, I'll just play the guitar and I find a nice little musical or whatever transition, and I just like kind of fall into it. It's almost like a self-inflicted head wound, like just like I gotta keep doing it, gotta keep, And so I just listen to it over and over and over, and then I start to hum with it, like, and then it's just like words start to, and then I start to just kind of insert words and slowly build a song that way, just kind of feeling the groove of it. Um,
A lot of
never,
experimentation, isn't it?
it's never the same. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's experimentation.
yeah,
It's like, okay, I know that there's the lyric piece, right? These are some of the elements of songwriting. The lyric piece itself, sometimes you write these ideas down. Maybe the first pass is like, okay, I just want to get the ideas down, but then you start to change maybe the verses around, and this sounds better like a chorus, but you don't really know that until you just like experiment with it,
yeah. I
right?
had a little beat in my head. It was for a song I wrote. It's called "Sidelined." but it goes like a ba ba da ba da ba 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 da. And so I just kept doing that over and over, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, Mister, tell me, can you spare some change for me?" You know, and I just started to build on it. You know, so sometimes that's just how it grows, kind
Yeah.
of organically out of the nothingness. And
It's
other
yeah.
times just write it down, get it all out, and then sort it. All right, and then we're gonna go to the strings and try to make something happen. So
Cool.
And if you don't mind me popping back in quick, I do
Go
also
for
want to say no process is ever going to be the same for everybody. So don't feel like you're doing something wrong if you're not following the same process that Matthew and I have talked about or that other artists have talked about. Everybody has their own way of creating things. Everybody's creative in their own ways. So definitely just like you can try different ways, but if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Just do what works for you.
Good advice. I like that. Very cool. All right, so I want to give
There's
our
no right way to write a song.
there is no right
There's
Amen.
no right way to write a song.
if you are it's your story for one, and how you decide you want to share that story is really, as the songwriter, it's up to you to make that determination. So that is a true statement. I believe that as well too. All right, so let me go ahead and get back to all of the guests who are attending today, participants. I would like to offer everyone who has something that they want to share with the community here, with the people who are attending, either just to read it to us. So you've got the experience of kind of what Matt and Bree have talked about, sharing, going to another person and saying, "What do you think about this?" Now's your opportunity to do that. What I'd like you to do is just put your name in the chat saying, "I've got something." We're going to give you 5 minutes, and that would be including the reading and then hopefully some constructive feedback if you'd like it. But once you do that, we'll start picking on you throughout the broadcast. So, Matt, I'm going to bring you back up here along with Bree. So here's what I want to do now. We have covered a number of techniques in Andrea Stolpe's Becoming a Songwriter Guide. Here's if this resonates with either of you, I want you to say something. And Ken, you're on deck. We're going to go ahead and put you through the first presentation of your song lyrics or your story. Once we go through these different techniques that Andrea has presented to us. But if this resonates with Bree or Matt, just say something, okay? Are you one of the things is being influenced by other popular songwriters? This is basically, knowing who you are as a songwriter, if you in fact have pulled from experiences from other popular songwriters. Is this something that you could say you include in your own style of songwriting?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first and then I'll let Matt go. Um, since he was still muted, he looks like he's waiting though. Yeah, so I tend to I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh, I like that. Or I'll go to a concert and I'll be like, oh, hey, I kind of like how she styled that song. And so I recently went to a Kelsey Ballerini concert, and there was a song that I ended up writing and I was showing my producers and I was like, I kind of want to see where this one can go.
Mhm.
It's just a really fun song, but Kelsey Ballerini, Carrie Underwood, those ones are definitely ones that I like to kind of pull some notes from them.
Influence.
Mhm.
Influence. I will say there's a song that I'm going to be sharing with the group at some point in the future that I just recently wrote. And I can tell you that I was thinking of Paul Simon, of Simon and Garfunkel, if you don't know who Paul Simon is. But there was a song that he did called St. Jude's Comet, which was like a lullaby. And to me, it's kind of like, wow, this very light, it feels like something you would sing to your child, when they go to sleep. And I wanted to write a song like that. So I'm guilty of that. I'm definitely guilty of pulling from songwriters that I admire to influence my songs. Matt, now to you. What do you, I mean, first of all, are you influenced? And then the flip side is, but what happens when you come into a song that you want to write that isn't your style? How do you deal with that? So,
So absolutely strong influence from Chris Cornell, artists like Chester Bennington. I mean, but I grew up listening to different types of music. My mom would dance in the living room to Steel Bars by Michael Bolton, and my dad would crank up his stereo with like Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, or Metallica. So I was kind of getting everything you could get within those that range.
that's quite a broad set of influences.
Yeah, it's a complete
It's
180.
awesome.
Michael Bolton, Metallica. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Compared to like just one genre or one
yeah,
artist, kind of like you kind of sound like so and so, and that's all you sound like, but that's not the case here.
yeah.
So,
Um, so yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I want people to feel music, and I know that simply listening to Chris Cornell sing or to listening to some of the older Chester Bennington performances that he did, like you really fell into that emotion of how powerful they made that music. And so I want to tell a story with mine that kind of tells a powerful story. Now, I am never going to be Chester Bennington or Chris Cornell. All I can be is Matt Jones. So
there you
when
go.
it
There you
comes
go. Yep.
to when it comes to writing something out of kind of like my wheelhouse, um, well, first thing that happens is Armageddon. Because I'm
Well,
like,
here, let me do this. Let me set this up a little more fairly for you. Let's say, for instance, that you got invited by a stringed orchestra to lead, you know, be the lead vocalist on a song that you thought, I don't want a band behind me, I want an orchestra behind me. All right, that's probably not in your wheelhouse. How would you deal with something like that? How would you go about it? It's like, okay, let me get into this mindset of writing a song that is, like string orchestra or having a quartet of some sort of violin and a stand-up bass and stuff like that. How would you approach that?
yeah, um, I don't know. I
We
really
expect you to
don't,
wear
because
we
it's
expect you to wear a tux too, by the
that's
way.
that's one of those like it's out of my wheelhouse, and while I still want to try to see how do I fit into this,
Yeah,
there's a lot of really unique things about being who you are that kind of
yeah.
makes you kind of stand out. So, I mean, what I'd probably want to do is just kind of get an idea of how I want to build the melody, and then try to structure the words to build with the melody, because you can really manipulate how words sound over like a powerful instrumental, um, just by hearing kind of how it vibrates and resonates with the other instruments. So I really don't have a good answer for how I'm
Yeah.
gonna do
Well,
that.
but here's
I'm
the deal.
reaching, man.
But here's
There you
here's the
go.
thing, and you're doing great. You're doing great. It really is experimentation, right? It's kind of
Yeah,
like, all right,
absolutely.
you know what? I think I might want to include a couple of stringed instruments. Don't know what it sounds like, but maybe I know someone who will like, give me
Yeah,
some examples of how that
I
would sound.
I'd
But
have to
it's
refer to those people who are kind of already in it, and they have a general uh, understanding of just a typical build and flow and composition of like something like that, and then I would pull that and use their wisdom to create something pretty. I think I would
absolutely.
lead heavily on the subject matter experts.
There
So
you go. There and this goes back to the collaboration part. It's like, all right, well, I don't really know that much about writing about, you know, these types of instruments to come in. And we'll talk about that in the musical part of becoming a songwriter. But again, you're not alone. You tap people who you know might be familiar with that style of music. Brainstorm with them. I mean, I was thinking the other day of Zach Brown. Zach Brown, he's known for doing country music.
Yeah.
And then he went off and he did some things that were more R&B. And it's like I never really connected the two together. How did he do that? And you can see, he didn't really talk to his bandmates to do that R&B album. He went, to those artists who had that knowledge and experience to finally put that new album out, which personally I like, but apparently not a lot of people do. But that's what you have to do as musicians and songwriters is, go outside of your comfort zone, find people who know stuff like this that can help you along to move your story to that next level. All right. So, writing what you know, of course, is something that I know both of you have expressed something in your writings is kind of like, yeah, when you don't know, then you usually find someone else who might be able to help you along. We talked a little bit about the songwriting elements, and it's not anything that you typically will say, okay, lyrics before melody, except out the rhythm and groove, and then chord progression is in there somewhere. It's kind of like however that falls into place, it's different for everyone. I think that Bree, that you would stress that out, and Matt, even in your storytelling. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here, and why don't Ken? Let me go ahead and bring you back online here with us.
So the name of the song is My Whole. And it starts off with a narration part where we go in and instead of singing or talking, inspiration for this came from It's Hard to Be Humble by Mac Davis. He starts off that song and starts talking about where he's at and where he is, where he writes the song. And so um, this song is about me and my wife and our love story. And in that story, it revolves around Plato and what Plato wrote about soulmates. So it starts off, the philosopher Plato wrote of soulmates. He stated that they were created with 4 arms, 4 legs, and had a head with 2 faces. They were so powerful they chose to challenge the gods. As punishment, Zeus split them into 2 halves and scattered them across the earth, forcing them to roam the world in search of the one that makes them whole. I have searched, and I have finally found the one that makes me whole. And then it goes into verse 1. We met in high school, just 2 kids in love, our 2 hearts beating like wings of a dove. But little did we know our love was so divine, meant to last an eternity, survive the test of time. And then it goes into the chorus. Together, we were meant to be, forever, just you and me. You're the missing piece that makes me whole. You are my heart, my soul. You are my whole. And then in the second verse, it goes into, I'll just read it and I'll explain it. Your daddy set me down. You said I wasn't worth a dime. You said to let you go because I was wasting your time. You said if I loved you, I would do what's right. So I left your heart broken that very night. So in high school, I went to pick her up one night for a date, and her dad set me down on the couch, and he was like, I got this guy that she dated before, and I like him better than you, and you're not really going to amount to anything. So I want you to break up with her so she'll have a better life with him. You're not going anywhere. He's going to give her a better life that she deserves, and if you love her, you'll do it. And so, being the dumb junior in high school that I was, I did it. Regretted every minute of it since that moment, but I did it. And that last line where it says, "So I left your heart broken," it really needs to be, "I left our heart broken," because I broke both of our hearts that night. I didn't want to do it, but I thought that was what was best, and I was doing the best thing for her because I loved her. So it goes, instead of going into the chorus right here, it goes into the bridge because it wouldn't make any sense to say, together we were meant to be after I just broke her heart. So it goes directly into the bridge. Years flew by, but our love still remained, like a flame that never faded nor waned. Our love's a testament to the power of the soul. Like Plato's soulmates, we were now made whole. And then it goes into the chorus. Together we were meant to be, forever, just you and me. You're the missing piece that makes me whole. You are my heart, my soul. You are my whole. And then it goes into an outro. In this crazy world of heartaches and tolls, we have each other like 2 paired souls. Our love's a beacon shining ever bright, guiding loveless hearts through the darkest nights. And then it finishes up with the chorus, together we were meant to be, forever just you and me. You're the missing piece that makes me whole. You are my heart, my soul. You are my whole. You are my heart, my soul. You are my whole. That's it. And
Right.
that's
Yeah.
mine and my wife's love story.
I'm going to tell you, I am so glad you read it. I'm so glad because it expressed the emotion that was put into
Yeah.
to the story and to the lyrics. Um,
And I got the song from my vows that I wrote for her whenever we got married. So that's where a lot of the song came from, was directly from my vows. So, and those are put up in our house. You know, we got like a wall from our wedding, and so our vows are up there, and so they're always a part of us. And um, yeah, and so the Plato Symposium, that's where he wrote about the soulmates, and that was huge too. Whenever we got married, because that's the way we both felt, that we were always meant to be together.
that is
And
awesome. Hey, listen,
yeah,
because I want to keep this within 5 minutes. I want
right.
to
Sorry.
ask you, there are two comments that I've got. Um, setting the scene, setting the scene. You did it.
Yes.
That's awesome. The vantage point piece, past, present, past, future. Even problem resolution from a vantage point standpoint. I think you've incorporated those techniques in there.
Yes.
Did I get that? Am I close?
Yes.
Did you do
Yes.
that?
Yes. Yes. And it all goes chronologically. So, it goes high school, breaking up in high school, all the years in between, and us being together, and then goes into the future of what our love is, and how it guides other loves, you know, because we have friends that tell us, they're like, your love story just, it means, we don't know anybody else that's like that. We want to love like you have, so that's where that part came from. Also in Randy Travis, the beacon, love being a beacon. Chef. So, and Randy Travis is huge in my musical journey, him and Alabama both. So,
Excellent. Excellent. Well, let me
having
do
parts of their
this.
songs
Let,
and ours. Go ahead.
let me open it up to the group.
Sure.
Did you want feedback?
Oh, absolutely. I love feedback. Anytime, anywhere, any place.
Okay, let me start. Raise your hand or just open your mic. Let's go ahead and just open your mic. And if you have a comment, go ahead and throw it to Ken.
Hey, Ken, I guess I'll go first. I left you something in the chat box there. I agree. I think that saying that broke our hearts is really more dynamic than breaking your heart, because it was a mutual thing. You both believe this, so I agree with that. I think this is some pretty solid songwriting. Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I just need some musicians that can help me play it. My guitar
Well,
playing
you come
is
to the
not
right
good enough.
place. You come to the right place. We could help you with that. Any other thoughts for Ken?
I thought that was beautiful writing. It was very, very poetic, which is what songs are essentially, is poems. And that one really, that tugs at your heartstrings for sure, but in a good way. So yeah, and I agree with Matthew too, and with what you had said earlier. And also, I forgot to mention I am also kind of collabing with Ken. So I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but now I'm just like sitting here thinking about it. So
Yeah.
I bet
The song she's doing of mine is amazing too. I can't wait to hear what she does with it.
I'm so excited. I'm really excited.
It's a really good song.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Ken, thank you so much. And I'm certain
Thank
that
y'all.
if you have
And I'll throw that hour in there, Matthew.
if you have any additional ideas for Ken is actually on the G4V Learning Center. So definitely PM him. Let's see, who wants to go next? I think, let's see. Jay, did you want to go ahead and share? I know you mentioned here you got parts of one here. Let us know if you'd like to just read it, or if in fact you would like to get some constructive feedback as well too. It's your call, my friend. Thank you for wanting to share this information with us. It's awesome.
After these last two Mine doesn't compare or anything like that.
Oh, no. This is not a competition, my friend. This is about you and your songwriting journey. And we would like to help you get to that next level. So we're here to support you. So
Hey,
would
I've
you like to
enjoyed
share?
everything you put out. Whenever I talk about people that are putting out information, songs and stuff in this class, you're one of the top ones. So I enjoy hearing everything you put out and seeing the growth with everything. So bring it on.
Okay. So a little bit whiny, but it's called A Doppelganger's Code Red Blues. And the chorus, I got them blues, should have been in someone else's shoes. I got those blues, those doppelganger code red blues. And I don't have the whole thing done or anywhere close to it, just let's see here. It's about
Is this something that you wanted to write about, obviously, or is it just a fun song? Is like a doppelganger is supposed to be something another point of reference? What inspired you to put this one together?
yeah, I was guy on a ship that I went on. He was a real idiot and that, and they ended up they stood him and me up to get side by side, and everybody said they couldn't tell us apart. And when we pulled into port, they had a code red waiting for him. And I left the ship and I got the code red. But anyway, I started working on that, and boy. One of the verses, back was broke, TBIs in my head, couldn't stand up straight, wouldn't give me no meds. And then the chorus, got them blues, should have been in someone else's shoes, got them blues, those doppelgangers code red blues. And now I got a bunch of stuff written down here, but needs a lot of work. So anyway.
So you actually did free writing, the freestyle writing with it. You've got a whole bunch of notes that you can go ahead and pick these ideas from. Is that what you've done so far?
Yeah, I got notes written down for the two petty officers who were on the bridge of the ship or on the quarter deck, and they seen the attack, but
Well, cool. I mean, and I don't know if you're interested in reading a little bit of your notes to us. Maybe we can give you some ideas if you like, if you think that would help. But yeah, typically I know that being able to pull specific ideas from the free writing is definitely something that Andrea has been kind of recommending. So if you're looking for ideas to continue to grow your story, keep growing,
I
keep
don't know
writing,
if
keep
it's
adding to that.
I
okay,
don't know if
well,
it's because of where I'm at, but I think if you put that to a blues tune,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
that'll be great. That'll be
Absolutely.
fantastic.
It's in the title.
Get that kind of melody in your head and start going with all the free writing and the lyrics that you got. And I think you're going to come out with something. I like it. I like the idea.
Is that
I hate
the
that happened to you,
was
but
that
I
the
like the
path that you're
idea.
thinking, Jay? Was that you wanted to make this a blues song? Because it certainly sounds
yeah.
like electric blues for sure. If if you're able to pull that up. I know Matt, you've got a comment here in just a sec.
Well, here's some of the basic pattern.
Fun. It sounds like fun for sure. Hey, Matt has a comment for you, Jay.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just thinking, it'd be a nice way to do an intro, just to.
Oh gosh. You got some good point, good idea there. I like that.
Yeah,
I
something
thought
nice
like
and
Matt was gonna
choppy.
jump out of
Jason,
his chair.
What was
No.
that,
Oh, I
Bree?
was
I thought
excited.
Matt was gonna jump out of his chair. He was like,
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my
Nice little
god.
lead guitar licks.
Oh, you're giving Jay. He's got that smile on his face. I think he's liking this. He's
Yes.
liking this idea. That's awesome.
I just gotta
I'm
learn how
sitting here in
to.
this gift shop and stuff like that's going off in my head like the whole time they're
Uh-oh.
just playing it. You know, I'm getting those riffs like the whole, in the because I'm in the gift shop, so they're playing just BB King, and it's just amazing. So now he's playing. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. Jay, are you getting some idea, some like good ideas here?
Yeah, learn to finger pick.
Well, you could, or you could find someone to help you with that, you know, maybe find a partner in crime to help you with the music. So, all right, well, listen, um, you keep us posted on your progress with this. This is promising for sure. We definitely want to make sure that that everyone knows that you've got your first song or maybe your next song written. Real curious to see how this turns out. And by all means, reach out to those people who've made these suggestions, to add to your song because it looks like they've got some really good ideas to put a smile on your face. I like that. All right. Okay, thank you, Jay. Mike, you're next. What have you got? How are you? Where are you at too? Where are you at today?
Well, now I'm at home.
Okay, cool.
We were running around garage selling earlier, so
All right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for sharing. What have you got?
this is the one that I wrote like a couple weeks ago, but
Okay.
it's
You want to give us some context? What inspired you to write what it is that you're going to share?
it's kind of expressing on how sometimes I feel. Where and I guess the title of this is "So Far Away," and how my thoughts are far away. Sometimes I'm far away. Um, yeah, it's just from military life and some of my civilian life as well. So
Right. Well, thank you for sharing this with us.
yeah, so it's sitting alone in poplars and pines, thoughts and images of some other time. 18 years old, sign on that line. Next thing you know, he's stepping in time. Assigned overseas, what's there to do? Now he's married, a wife and a mother of two. He's training away in the sands and the shade, jungles and mountains and sand and the waves. And then it jumps over to the chorus. Now he's so far away. Letters from home, from families and friends, strangers and kids. And he's so far away. Letters come in from strangers and kids asking what it's like with drawings and gifts because he's so far away. Orders come in, no time to. Orders come in, no time left to say. Midnight he's packing, gone that same day, saying goodbye with a tear in her eye. And it goes back and forth here. Now he's faced with the heat and miserable sweat, 120, and sweats while he rests. Christmas in the sand, New Year's no band, rumors abound and echo off at hand. And then back to the chorus. Now he's so far away. Letters from home, from families and friends, strangers and kids. And he's so far away. Letters come in from strangers and kids asking what it's like with drawings and gift because he's so far away. D-Day has come, blasting through mines. The sun is blotted out by the smoke in the sky. At night, it's pitch black, but earlier that day, he took some flak from a mortar attack. The airfield secure. Now a chemical attack, donning our masks, we're ready for that. The edge of a town is the city of Kuwait. When the news comes in that we're cleared to step down. Back to the chorus. Now he's so far away, et cetera, et cetera. Same chorus.
Read the chorus one more time.
Yes. So it's now he's so far away. Letters from home, from families and friends, strangers and kids. And he's so far away. Letters come in from strangers and kids asking what it's like with drawings and gifts because he's so far away. And then I think I was going to change up that last part because I'm going to go back to now he's sitting alone in the poplars and pines, thoughts and images of some other time. And then I want to reference my wife seeing me, my wife kind of in her eyes that he's so far away of some other time. And it's a play off of my time first in the Marine Corps and then off to Desert Storm. Because we were one of the first groups called in or from the Marines. So
Gosh, there's a lot of great stuff that you've written there. I mean, it's vivid. You set the story up. Definitely, you set the scene up, and you're taking us through that process of Vantage Point. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you put this one together. But there's some great stuff.
yeah,
Great information in there.
I started working a little bit with Shannon Book, and then
Oh, you took him up on his offer, huh?
I did, and then it was something that I just wrote. I think I've had it in my mind a little bit, but it was very wordy. And then I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, couldn't sleep, and I just went downstairs and I basically wrote it all out.
That's what you got to do. Yeah, get that all out because now you can pick and choose what it is you want to include. For sure. Thoughts, comments that you can give to this to the community. Go ahead and open your mic and
Can I
share.
go first? Okay, so while you were reading that, I was just messing with a little finger picking chord progression, and you said something in there when you were getting ready to go to another spot. You said it just kind of repeats, and what I liked about what you were saying is that the melody I came up with really just kind of repeats, almost like that your mind keeps going back to it kind of thing. You know, like for a lot of us, we don't want to talk about it, but you know, multiple times throughout the day, we think about those things that we experienced. Um, so it was just 2 chords in the verse and 2 chords in the chorus that I was just messing with. And if it's okay, I'd like to show it to you. I mean,
I'd
go
love
with
to hear it.
if you want to go with Shannon, go ahead, because I'm going to collab with Shannon too. So,
No, I'd love to
but
hear it.
uh, it was just something really simple. I don't know. So while I'm doing this, look at your words and just kind of read along with the melody. Okay, like a little exercise here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Sitting alone in the poplars and pines, through the images of some other time. 18 years old, sign on that line. Next thing he knows, he's just stepping in time. Flying overseas, what's there to do?
Now, where's your
Now
chorus
he's
at?
leaving. Okay, of course.
So here's what I had for your chorus. Something just simple.
Okay.
Uh,
Now he's I'm not used to singing
yeah,
with that going on, but yeah.
but it just repeats, right? So even if you just read it while that was kind of playing in the background, you're gonna feel more comfortable kind of in that melody, and then you'll start to like sing. You know,
Yep.
the way I had to close my eyes, man. I was vibing to the words. So, yeah, great job, dude.
If you can send me that finger note pattern and everything, I'll try to. I'm only like week 3 or 4 of Guitar for Vets, but
Hey,
definitely it's something I want to
that's
try.
better than nothing, brother.
Here's a point that I want to make too. And Bree even brought this up earlier too. It's like, I know you may not feel confident enough as a guitar player or a musician, but there are people who are happy to go ahead and step in behind you to give their ideas. Take advantage of that for sure. And then as you start to feel comfortable with playing guitar, you're good. That'll be you someday, but no problem. Go and do the collaboration with those who are comfortable with those skills, and they'll inspire you to pick up that guitar. and do that for yourself. But hey, this is great, Matt. Thank you for adding those really cool ideas. And Mike, as you were reading your lyrics too, it's like, oh, I can see how this fits. It's definitely it sounds like it's really coming closer to where maybe you'll have a first draft. So by all means, do that collaboration. And continue on with that guitar, learning to play guitar. Matt, that was awesome. Thanks. All right, let's see. I believe John, do you have something you want to share?
Sure, I can go back to watching her again because I'm kind of on my second draft on this. So
Okay, go for
read
it.
through this and
Before you start, why don't you go ahead and bring the group up to speed on the inspiration of you putting this story together?
a year ago, this last February, my wife passed away and was resuscitated after being gone for 8 to 10 minutes, and it changed our life. And as I go through where we're at here, maybe you'll be able to resonate with this a little bit with everybody because we've all lost somebody. We've all had experiences, and it's a tough song, but it's right now it's my most complete of anything of the 7 now I've started. But that's the problem is I got them all started, but none of them finished, and only a couple of them I've tried to put music with. And this
Problem? Did you say problem?
is one. No problem.
You're off to a great start. Are you kidding? Thanks,
No,
John.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that story. Why don't you go ahead and share your story?
And again, I just graduated from guitar from vets right about a year ago now as well too. So I'm still learning every day and continuing on with all aspects of this so far, and it's just enjoying it all together.
All right.
So with that said, watching her is the title of the song, and I play it in the key of D. And it says, "Here I sit, pretending I'm okay, my mind confused of what to say. As I sit here, watching my wife lie near, our lives unraveled that February day. Normal life, it went away. It's 11 a.m. She sleeps. Inside my heart weeps. She's up all night, afraid to sleep. Many times a night, our eyes meet." And then it goes into the chorus. When our eyes meet in the middle of the night, she knows everything's all right. Though I don't get no sleep, seeing her is so sweet. And I sing that through twice in the chorus. And then it bridges to, he stays up late to watch me. My wonderful husband, how great is he? I watch him watching me. That's when I feel warm. It's 3 a.m. We smile. He holds my hand. This is now our norm. How lucky I am. We know this life will someday end. We'll still hold hands when I walk with him. Then I go back to the chorus and I change the chorus just a hair on this as soon as I find my page. And then on the chorus, I go back in, and when our eyes meet in the middle of the night, we know everything's all right. Though we don't get no sleep, seeing us is so sweet. And that's how I finish the song out.
Well, it's definitely telling us the present, how things were in the past, and the future. So you're touching on the key points and vantage point for sure. And you're also doing some sensory writing as well too, John. It's wonderful. I mean, I know you've been working on getting this to a point where it's like you can call it done, but you just have to take your time with these types of these songs. It's just I mean, so much to you both for sure that don't feel like you're having to rush through to get this right. There are times where it's like it takes months, sometimes years to finish that song. So,
yeah, and well, this is my second song. My first song, I've not even put much time into because it's much more emotional, and its title is "I Have a Second Life," and it's from a second person looking in and singing in my wife's eyes.
Mhm.
And Tom, you're the only one that's heard that. And I've not read it to anybody else on this earth. And it's
At some point, I'm sure that's going to change because you'll want to
it
move
will
forward.
it will change. Meanwhile, I step away from this and I go and I end up with these other things I end up doing, and it's fun. I'm enjoying it and I'm learning, and I want to say this whole class, watching everybody in this, Jay, uh, I love the way you do stuff. I pretty much am like you. I write my notes, I come through it, come out of it. It's great. Um, and Dan, David, all you guys, it's just been a lot of fun, and hopefully we keep something going from here from this. It's a great thing.
Hey, John,
So,
could I? So sometimes not being able to hear is an advantage, because when you said a second life, I think, and
Yeah.
I thought you said a second wife.
I
Now, hey, that's a
actually had three of those.
but you know what? See, that's an idea for another song, because you've got a second wife. It's she has a second life, but you have a second wife.
It's very true. It's another way to
Yeah.
look at that, and I like that idea. That's cool. That's a great concept in there. I
that's
like that.
clever.
Yeah.
Clever.
You
Well, see, here you are thinking you probably are stuck. Now you got some ideas. Any other comments for John? Any thoughts that you want to include? Now's the time
John,
to
another phenomenal job, man.
uh,
You're another one. I'm glad to see in here, and the growth from the classes before this one has
yeah.
been significant, and you're doing a great job. I want you to keep it up.
Well, thank you, Ken. Yeah, it's been fun watching you too. I mean, it's been fun watching everybody here, and those open mic sessions are they're inspiring. That's really cool.
Can I add a comment?
please do.
Certainly, please.
Okay.
Ludgy, is
Yeah,
that you?
Lugdi.
Lugdi? I'm
Lugdi.
sorry, Lugdi. Why don't
That's
you go
okay.
ahead? Thank you for joining us today.
No problem. I had two comments. I didn't get a chance to comment on the previous gentleman. I wanted to say something about him too, but I think I wanted to hear more emotion out of both songs, because it seemed very surface level, and I want to have you guys think about adding your heart into the song, because that's where we connect, right? That's what I would connect to, is when you add your heart. Like, you tell me, what are you feeling when you hold your wife's hand? What do you feel? So that would touch, it touches a person that may be dealing with a similar circumstance, right? So
Right.
I think it would be more touching if you add more of your feeling into your songs. And with the gentleman before, with the letters, I wanted to know what feeling he had when he received the letters, because we've all been in the military, and I used to love when I received letters, right? Because I was so far away. I loved when I received letters. So maybe attaching a little bit more emotion to that part of the song, I think would be really great.
Really
Great.
good. And so let me add to what Luke Diaz is saying here, and that is, if you go back to Andrea's coursework, there are a number of ways that we expand and explore those emotions. Sensory writing, right? Using the touch, taste, smell, that whole group of senses. The lyrical lens, metaphorical phrasing. These are things that you could also lean on as well too, to expand that point into something maybe a little more emotional. So good ideas. These are the techniques that come from the learning materials that have been presented to us throughout, the primer series that Ken had co-hosted, as well as the boot camp sessions that we've had, all four so far. So anyway, listen, the other thing that I want to touch on, the interesting titles and the point of view, first, second, third person, those are also techniques that we had covered in the boot camp series. So if you're not familiar with those and you're interested in maybe taking different perspectives or throwing in titles that may be powerful up front, that you can include in your song, be sure to check those out. We are coming up on the end of our 90-minute
Hey,
session.
Tom.
Make
Have
it
we got
quick.
have we got a second?
Make it quick.
Show and
You
tell.
got-
Show and tell. Show and tell.
Oh my
Look at
goodness.
that.
There you are, showing and telling. All right. What
Lucille, baby.
is that? Is that Lucille? Was
Hold
that
on.
the 330, 355?
There's more. There's more. I'm gonna try
Okay.
and run through this.
You're
All right.
so
Hold
funny.
on.
All right. You show us, and I'm going to keep talking because there's some things that I
Yeah.
want to share with this group before we end up before we end the session. First of all, thank you again, everyone, for making it through all 4 of these workshops. We have seen tremendous participation and growth with your lyric writing. So the next thing that's going to be happening is May 31st. For 4 consecutive Saturdays, we're going to carry you into the musical side of the writing itself, from harmony. So that includes like the chord progressions, finding a rhythm that works for your lyrics. And we're also going to be talking about melody. So it's going to start Saturday, May 31st, 4 consecutive sessions, just like we did with the lyric writing. So what you want to do is make sure that you review Andrea's materials, both in the course guide and also in the videos, which we've made available on the G4V Learning Center. And there's one other thing that will be of interest to you. It's the G4V Guitar Servette's Your Chords and the Truth. And the last time we did this, we took a number of veterans who are aspiring songwriters and actually put them in some formal training. And that's through Your Chords and the Truth. We're talking about doing something in the not too distant future to bring that back for round 2. So we are going to give you more information on that. But here is what my mission is, and Paul Lilly's mission is to get you all prepared to be a part of that. Your Chords and the Truth. So keep at it. Hey, keep writing your song ideas, your lyrical ideas. If you're not really up to speed on things from a musical standpoint, we're going to help you get there with part 2 of becoming a songwriter in our Songwriter Bootcamp series. And there goes Ken showing off more of what's happening over that.
Tom, when does the part 2 begin, and how do we sign up for the part 2?
So part 2, again, is May 31st. It's Saturday, May 31st. We're going to have more information out for you on the G4V Learning Center. So you'll want to definitely keep an eye on what we post there in terms of promoting and enrolling.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot to enroll. It's basically, as long as you know the date, as long as you've got the Zoom link, which again, we post on the G4V Learning Center, then you can join us for sure. Yeah. And also, the other thing that you need to know is that if in fact you missed any of the any of the recordings of the show or the show itself, that you have the ability to go back to the G4V Learning Center, and you can go ahead and take a look at those video recordings of sessions 1, 2, and 3. We'll have 4 posted here within the next couple of days or so. Take a look at those, see what you missed. And then you can join us for part 2, session 5 on the 31st of May. All right. And I think that's all that I've got. Let's see, Matt, is there anything you want to add to what it is that we covered today, that maybe some final thoughts on where we're at with today's session?
You stay classy, San Diego. No.
Okay.
I would say try not to make it more complicated than what it may seem. You guys and gals are doing something that you haven't done before, so be patient with yourself. Above all, be patient with yourself. Really take some time to kind of mow through those ideas and discover those different ways to express those ideas. Collaboration is also an important thing. So, I mean, if you're interested, reach out to Briella. I know she's collaborating. I'm collaborating. Jay, I want to hear more about this blues stuff you're going to be doing. And Michael, I mean, I think it's good. I hear things a certain way. I play a lot of sad songs, so it was easy for me to pull your letters into something sad. So, but I think even though it's sad, that's going to make someone feel something, like they're going to connect to it. Absolutely just awesome to be a part of, but be patient with your guys' self. Growing takes time. So enjoy
Thank
it
you.
as you
Thank
write
you.
as you write the next chapter of your life, and the things you're going to do and embark on. You know, you get to decide. You know, it's your story. You tell it. You only get one life, so write it till the wheels fall off, guys. So, yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for
Fantastic.
coming in and sticking in this, and for allowing me, and I know Briella would say the same, allowing us to come in here and just share our passions and our creativity with you guys. It's a blessing, and I know we're both grateful. We look forward to hearing more of you guys' work. So,
Yeah,
congratulations,
and
great
thanks,
job.
Matt, for helping us get started. I mean, really, you were part of session one in today's session and encouraging them, our artists here, to our aspiring songwriters, to get on that path and what it takes to keep on that path. So thank you for that. Bree, any closing thoughts from you as a songwriter and you are a musician. We saw you play guitar. So
Just slightly. I
closing
use
thoughts.
musician very loosely.
Yeah, your dad, I know your dad would say, no, you are. Because I
Yeah.
always hassle. I was like, and when's the last time you picked up your guitar, sir? We won't go down that path.
Yeah, get on him on that.
I definitely will before the next hero stuck. But hey, any closing thoughts for our community of aspiring songwriters?
Yeah. So the last gentleman who shared about his wife, his name was John, right?
Yes.
Okay, John, I just want to say this quick. That was a very, very touching song. And just knowing that there's so many other people that have been in that position. It's definitely a very well written, well thought out song. So I do want to put that out there quick. But also I just want to thank everybody for letting me come on and share my experiences and my stories. And it's been really, really fun. And it's been really nice getting to know everybody and hearing your stories. Your dreams are never out of reach. All you can do is chase them. But you'll get there one way or another. And like Matthew said, kind of going off of everything Matthew said, I'm always looking for collabs. I'm always open to collabs. So just let me know. I'm sure you guys can find my information somehow from Tom or anybody like that.
Yeah. For sure. By all means. If you could also leave leave me an email, tom.lamog@guitarsforvets.org if you need to reach out to me to contact both Bree and Matt. You can also find me on the G4V Learning Center. Bree, it was really wonderful having you. I know this is fairly new to you, but look at you. I mean, you're out there collaborating with other songwriters, you're performing live, you're playing guitar, you're even going to be like doing more live events as well too. So continued success for you, and same to you, Matt. Did you have something to add, Matt? Is there something?
Bree and I are actually performing next weekend at the Howland Festival. We have an hour and a half set. So, I mean,
Awesome.
we're going to go out there. I know we're both going to be nervous. It's just, it's a norm. Will there be mistakes? Absolutely. But if you're loving what you're doing, who cares if you make a mistake? You know?
There you go. I like that. And I know you've
My
got a
football coach always said, if you're going to make
Hey.
a mistake, make it full speed. And I'm sure you will.
All I can say is this: is that if in fact it isn't fun, really, why are you doing it? This has been great fun. It's been a wonderful last 90 minutes. And sorry to see that we have to kind of bring it to a close, but thank you all again for participating in this Songwriters Bootcamp Part 1. And we hope to see you for Part 2 on May 30th, right? Is it May 30th? Is that the date that I said? I don't have my calendar in front of me. And we hope that you can take a look at those old videos that we posted on the G4V Learning Center, as well as YouTube for Guitars for Vets. Speaking of Guitars for Vets, I'm Tom Lamog for Guitars for Vets, the Learning Center for Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts community. Thank you again for being a part of today's live event, Songwriters Bootcamp, and we'll see you next time.